Good morning, all are present here. I am Dr. Anand Babu. I am going to discuss about the subject name construction techniques, equipment and practices. Okay. In the subject, we are having 5 course outcomes. We are having five units. In that, in CO1, we are going to discuss illustration, the various construction practices. Course description, the course deals with the construction practices, superstructure and substructure, construction methods, equipments used to construction and modern equipments to improve the workability of construction rapid. Syllabuses for first unit I am shown the syllabus. Okay. In that syllabus specification and a sequence of activities, construction coordinations, site clearance, marking, earthwork, dam proof courses, construction joints, expansion and contraction joints, temporary shed, centering and shuttering, classification of construction projects, construction stages, resources, construction managements. In that, I am divided to 4 lessons. Okay, in that first lesson, specification and sequence of activities. Lesson 2, construction coordinations, site engineering, marking, earthwork. Lesson 3, dam proof courses, construction joints, expansion and contraction joints. Lesson 4, temporary shed, centering and shuttering, classification of construction projects. Okay, in these classes we are going to discuss about the specification and the sequence of activities, construction coordinations, site clearance, marking, earthwork. These are the 2 lessons we are going to discuss in this session. Introduction. The building construction is the process of creating a new structure having various structural components like foundation, column, walls, beams, etc. In the construction elements we are going to, as per the design we are going to execute. Okay. If we are going to execute a structure which is have to be in good structure manner and structurally sound, functional, efficient and aesthetical good in appearance. Okay, so that in order to achieve all these factors, economic should also be given due considerations. Okay, so while we are going to construct a building, the other peoples, there is local construction peoples also, they are having an experience. Based on the experience they are constructing, even though they are having experience, they are not knowing how to construct in economic manner. Okay, in civil engineering point of view, engineers we are proceeding based on the economical design. Okay, based on the design only we are going to construct a building. Okay, then the first heading, specification. In the specification, it's divided into 3. First one is construction specification, second one is guide specification, third one is manufacturing specifications. The first one, construction specification, which is directly related to the construction activities. Okay, so in this activities we are going to construct subdivision of 2, general specification, next one is detailed specifications. In the general specification, the details of the material which is going to utilize based on the places, and then the quality which is decided based on the requirement of design, the design based on the requirement of the strength which have to resist the load. Okay, so general specification is based on the requirement of the structural element, the resistance of load. Okay, so based on that we are going to divide into different classes as per the specification. Specification, which is a standard book we have to maintain to know the quality of the structure. Okay, so that is the general specification, which is interpreting all the details of the materials and methods usage of methods of usage in the general specification. The detailed specification, which is shown that all the materials and equipments which we are going to place in the structural activities. Based on that only we have to give a specification. Okay, even though we are going to start a construction activity, we have to decide what is the material we are going to place in that location. Then what is the equipments we have to choose, because the equipments which is having a different qualities and a different rate. We have to consider the economic way to complete the requirement. Okay, so in the detailed specification which is shown that all the detail of material and equipments which is possible to use based on the design requirements. Okay, next thing, guide specification. Guide specification, it's like a procedures to follow the construction sequence. We have to know that method of construction. The guide specification means method of statement of each and every activity. We have to know to construct a, if you are plan to construct a concrete, means we have to choose the cement quality, which grade we are going to use, and then what is the aggregate size, and then aggregate shape, then find aggregate which level it is going to come, grade of the M sand or P sand or river sand. Okay, whichever we are using, based on that the guidance specification, what is the proportion they have to use, and then what is the way of mixing. Like when we are going to start a concrete, means we have to mix it in a machineries mixer machine. So the number of rotations we have to decide earlier based on the requirements of design. Okay, then manufacturing specification. The manufacturing specification means the each predefined materials which is assembled in the site, like tower. Steel towers we are going to construct, erect in the site, but the steel materials of the each and every elements which is manufactured in the manufacturing yard, that is industrial yard. Okay, so we have to decide what is the thickness of the material, what is the length of the material, what is the inclination and shape of the material as per the specifications. Okay, as per the specification we have to give a detail to the manufacturing persons. They are manufacturing based on the manufacturing specification, the each and every elements manufactured and they are delivered to the site. So that material only we are going to make a erection works, like towers, trusses. The trusses elements also they are manufactured in the manufacturing unit, that is industries. The next thing, sequence of activities. In the civil engineering constructions, if we are considering a residential building, we have to know that the sequence of activities. The first sequence is site clearance, second one marking, third one foundation works, the fourth one is basement construction of superstructure, next roof concreting, then providing openings of doors and windows and ventilations while constructing the superstructure. Then last we are going to erect the electrical works. Okay. Then plastering works, water supply and sanitary arrangements, floor finishing and wall tiles, whitewashing and painting. Okay. These are the headings we are going to discuss. Right. Sequence of activities. We are doing first site clearance. While we are choosing the site, which is in the different manner. One is there is any obstacles like old building or trees or plants or jungles are there, means in the site we have to remove the jungles and obstacles like previous constructed buildings or any rocks elements are there, means we have to remove the elements from the site. Then we are going for site clearance. That process is known as site clearance, which is done in a clear manner, and then we have to maintain the level. So if there is any undulations in the site, we have to clean it and make it a proper level, even level, so that the marking will be done in the proper manner. Okay. So before marking, we have to maintain our site in a proper level. Next thing, we have to remove our jungles or trees or plants in the site. If there is any previous old constructions are there, means we have to remove the constructions, buildings, then only we will go for the marking. Okay. In the marking, next point, marking in a two different ways. First one is center line marking. Center line marking, which is in a trench type. Okay. Which is constructed for the load bearing structures. Okay. In that drawing also is possible to see there is a point which is mentioned in the outline. It's like a masonry pillar which is mentioned the point on the masonry pillar. It will take a space of 2 meters or 1 meter. 1 meter to 2 meter, which is have to give a space, so that while we are constructing, we have to know that reference point to maintain, to know the proper alignment. Okay, initial stage we are giving a marking through white powder. Based on the white powder marking, we have to construct a pillars, brick pillars, masonry pillars. Okay, in the top of the pillar, we have to mention that the location of the center point. Okay, so that it will support us to maintain a proper alignment of the building foundations. Okay, while foundation, we are going for foundation, we have to know that the structure will be in a proper alignment. Okay, then we have to know that if it is in a right angle or not. Okay, that also while marking we have to verify based on the Pythagoras theorem. Okay, we have to maintain a right angle in the overall corners. Okay, that verification also very must need to verify. Okay, next, nowadays a lot of members they are going for framed structures. If you are going for a framed structure, the marking will not be look like this. Okay, marking look like in a pillar manner. Okay, columns. For columns, we have to maintain a separate foundation. In this layout, it's possible to know, possible to see that pillar marking. This is the pillar marking. Okay, another one pillar, next pillar, and pillar. If there is a closed pillar, two closed pillars means it's possible to make a single foundation for making a two columns. Okay, so the foundation excavation also we have to make it in a single manner, but the size will foundation will be high compared to the previous thing. Okay, if we are not doing like this now, sliding is possible to happen in that space between the columns. Okay, then we have to mark it in a separate manner like column foundation. Okay, each and every column is separately marked and separately excavated. The excavation is done by both machines and manual also. While the number of trenches or number of column foundations are less, means we have to go for manual excavation method. Okay, if there is a number of column foundations are more, means we will go for machinery foundations, excavations. Okay, so that is based on the number of column in the plan. Okay, next thing, foundation works. The foundation works, earthwork is a major thing. Next, earthwork is done based on the 4-5 category. Okay, the first one is the soil type. Soil type, if it is a loose or soft soil, it's possible to excavate in a smooth manner, but the depth we have to go for more depth. Okay, then hard or dense soil. Hard or dense soil means the excavation is done by manual. Okay, it's possible to do, but the density is more means we have to go for machinery method. Okay, then ordinary rock not required blasting. This type of rocks we have to go for machinery methods, which is preferable. Okay, hard rock where blasting is allowed. Where hard rock where blasting is allowed means the site which is constructed nearby the site there is no constructions are there. If there is any construction which is possible to damage during this blasting means it's not allowed. The next heading which is showing that hard rock where blasting is not allowed. Not allowed means it's nearby the site. Lot of constructions are there. Their foundations also possible to damage while we go for blasting. So in this type of condition we have to construct on the top of the rock up to certain depth of foundation, required depth of foundations. Okay, next thing, building based on the load bearing method. There is a two type of constructions already we discussed, right? So first method, load bearing structures. Load bearing structure means the foundation which is carried the load from walls, the wall which is carry the load from roof slabs. From roof slabs the load will be carried out through the walls only. So in this type of construction there is no any columns. Okay, and then in the openings we have to maintain the lintel. Okay, in the lintel there is two type of lintels are there. First one is cut lintel. Cut lintel means it will be constructed near to the opening only. We are going to give us certain space for both the sides, so that it will climb the wall to resist the load and convey the opening load to nearby the walls. Okay, so the lintel which is given on the opening, which is door or window opening. Okay, if there is open space or open allowance are there means in that place also the opening will come. Okay, in that opening only having lintel means it's a cut lintel. Okay, if it is a continuous lintel means the lintel which is constructed over all the walls of the building, in the walls of the building, as shown in the drawing, continuously above the walls, that is in between the opening and walls there is a lintel construction we have to do. The lintel which is constructed by the material of RCC. What is mean by RCC means reinforced cement concrete, and the reinforcement we have to provide for taking the tension load. The concrete which is provided for resisting the tension, compression loads. Okay, so both compression and tension which will be carried out in the RCC material. Okay, so lintel which is constructed in between the walls, brick walls, which will carry out the load below the opening surface. Okay, below the opening surface, which is transfer the load to wall. Okay, the load for load bearing structure, the load will be transferred from the roof slab to walls, walls to lintel, lintels to walls, walls to foundation, the foundation which will dilute the loads to the soil surface or rock strata. Okay, next one, framed structure. Framed structure which will be provided columns. Okay, columns, beams and slabs. Okay, the load carried by slab which will be transferred to the beams. Okay, near to the beam. Okay, in that beam will carry the load from the slab to transfer the load to columns. Okay, the column which will carry the load from beam. Okay, that column which will be connected to the foundation. Okay, that foundation will carry out the load from the column and which is diluted to the earth towards the bottom surface. Okay, through gravitational force only the loads are carried out. Okay, so a framed structure which will be constructed column, beams and slabs. Okay, in this framed structure also having lintels. Okay, in this lintel also in the continuous manner. Okay, basement, in this basement now, framed structure basement, the bottom beam will be carried out the column foundations. Okay, and then we are going to construct a walls. Okay, like a basement. In that base walls, plastering, inside plastering and outside plastering will be done. After that the soil will be filled in the basement area. After that the beam will be casted, that is belt beam. Okay, near to the soil area, earth beam, next one belt beam, then the column will be raised up to lintel level. That lintel will be connected all the columns, which is known as continuous lintel. Okay, if there is a discontinuity in the lintel, so it will become cut lintel. Okay, so after the column raised, the slab will have to beam will be constructed, beam which will connect all the columns, beam which will connect all the columns and it will joined with the roof slab. Okay, right. Okay, these are the frame structure and load bearing structure, load transmission, and then basement also we discussed. Okay, then construction of superstructures. Superstructure means above the ground level, which is possible to see by the eye. That is superstructure. Okay, above the ground level is superstructure, below the ground level foundation works are substructures. Okay, the construction of superstructure which will be done normally by bricks and stones. Okay, nowadays fly ash bricks also available, but the method of construction are same. Clay brick and fly ash brick method of constructions are same. Okay, so brick masonry wall we have to construct structure, header, English bond and Flemish bond. There is a 12 different bonds are there, different way of constructing brick masonry, but the major 4 methods only in the practice, regular practice they are doing with this 4 type of bondings. Okay, the brick means fly ash brick and clay bricks, which will whatever it may be is possible to use. Okay, then structure bond. Structure means it's in a horizontal manner. It's possible to see in the picture, which will show the biggest length is possible to see in the cross view. Okay, the arrangement of structure side, continuous arrangement of structure. In the brick, there is a linear side view is possible to see in the horizontal, in the side view. Next one, header bond. In the shorter side is possible to see in the side view of the brick masonry. Okay, then English bond. English bond, the one head will come and structure, another will come header. Okay, that will be in a regular practice. Regularly in the each and every masons are following English bond only. It's a successful bond, and then the time consumption also very less, and then it will be considered very faster when compared to other bonds. Okay, then Flemish bond. In the Flemish bond, header and stretcher will come alternative way, and then next layer also will come in different side in different arrangements. It's possible to see stretcher, header. The next row, header, stretcher. In the header side, stretcher will come. So that the alignment of the gap, joining gaps will be not in a straight line. Okay, not in a straight line. It will break the continuous line. If it is in a continuous line, the cracks is possible to make. Okay, so that is why the brick masonry stretcher bond will come under stretcher side. In the side view we are discussing. Okay, in the brick masonry side view we are seeing it's in a stretcher arrangements, means it will come under stretcher bond. Header bond, the header side only is possible to see in the side view of the masonry, brick masonry. Then English bond, which is regularly used by the masons. In the practices also they are doing the successful method. It will come in the one row will come stretcher, another one row will come header. Okay, next row stretcher, next row header. The frequent changes, continuous changes are there in the bonds, in the stretcher and header arrangements. Okay, Flemish bond in the single line, stretcher header like the frequency will come. Okay, the next thing, stone masonry. And nowadays stone masonry walls are very less persons are constructing. In the temple it's possible to see stone masonry in wall and the side walls and the parapet walls, and then compound walls also. In some temples they are constructing in a stone masonry. Okay, in the stone masonry also there is two different types of stone masonries. One is rumble masonry, another one is ashlar masonry. Rumble masonry, which is in a dressed manner. What is mean by rumble masonry means which is not in a dressed manner, which is arranged in a different view, like this. Random rumble masonry. Random rumble means we will arrange a stone which is in the different shape, different size, which is mixed and laid, which will not be look like a single line row. Okay, it will arranged based on the nature of stones. Okay, then ashlar masonry means it will look like a brick masonry. The stones are dressed properly in the both the sides. Okay, and then the gap between the stone masonries are 3 mm maximum. Okay, so that the mortar will be used very minimum, and then stone will be dressed in manner. Okay, so it will look like a proper finishing. The temple walls are constructed in the ashlar masonry type. The compound walls which is constructed in a rumble masonry type. So the load carrying capacity of the stone masonry is high when compared to the rumble masonry. Okay, rumble masonry will take loads in lesser manner. Okay, the next heading, the roof concrete. Roof concrete we are while we are discussing roof concrete, which is laid above the brick masonry, in the load bearing structure. If it is in a framed structure, roof concrete is laid above the beams of the building. Okay, the roof concrete which is laid on the beams. Okay, the side walls which is connected by the side columns are connected by beams. The beam which is connected by the roof concrete. Okay, right. The roof concrete, based on the concrete, grades are fixed. There is two different types of grade mix design. Okay, nominal design. Next one, design mix. Design mix. Nominal mix and design mix. Nominal mix are up to 25 grade of concrete, which will come under nominal mix design. Okay, design mix means above M25 grade of concrete. Okay, M5, M10, M15 are used for the basement works. Basement means the size of the coarse aggregate is more. 40 mm grade of 40 mm size of coarse aggregate are used up to M5, M10. M15, M20, M25, the coarse aggregate sizes are 20 mm. So the grade of concrete will become high. There is a standard mix proportions are there for nominal mix. If it is a design mix, there is no standard mix ratios. It will be based on the trial mix and design mix. Based on the design mix only, we have to decide that above M25 grade of concrete. Okay, this is based on the coarse aggregate and fine aggregate binder. Binder means cement. Based on these properties, additional to that water conduct, water cement ratio. Based on the water cement ratio also, design mix will be decided. So these are the factors we have to maintain for design mix concrete. Roof concrete, we have to use RCC, reinforced cement concrete. We have to make it a reinforcement. The steel also we are having a different grades. Steel having minimum grade of FE 250, medium grade of FE 415, next grade FE 500 and FE 550. Up to the reinforcement detailing, we are using FE 500, up to FE 500 we are using. Okay. Then sequence of activities, provision of openings. Openings, while constructing the masonry works, we have to provide a proper openings, that is doors, windows, and then ventilations. We have to give any ventilations, means we have to provide while constructing the walls. Okay. Then electrical works. Electrical works, before concreting of roof concreting, we have to provide a conduits on the roof concrete. Before laying a concrete, after laid reinforcement, we have to provide a conduit based on our plan. Okay. After given the conduits, we have to pour the concrete, reinforced cement concrete. After 21 days or 28 days, 28 days, the shuttering or de-shuttered and provided the pipelines, electrical wirings in the conduits. And if there is any need of cuttings in the walls, we have to provide cuttings, and need to place any junction box, means we have to give a junction box on the walls. And then switchboards also we have to provide before plastering. Okay, so electrical works we have to provide a proper conduits on or before laying of roof concrete. Okay, after roof concrete de-shuttered, now we have to provide electrical pipelines, electrical conduits on the walls based on the need of our electrical points. Okay, next thing, after providing of electrical points, we have to provide a plastering. Plastering, normally we have to use two type of binders. One is cement, another one is slime. Nowadays the practices we are doing by cement mortar plastering. Okay, cement we are utilizing as a binder. Okay, here is possible to see that brickworks are done, and then in the brickworks we are providing a plastering with the thickness of 12 mm, 20 mm. 12 mm in the inside the walls, and then outside of the walls 20 mm thickness we have to provide. And then cement mortar also 1:3, 1:4, 1:5, up to 1:6 we are mixing in the ratios. Okay, based on the requirements, inside we have to maintain the cement binder in rich manner. Outside the that is outside the walls, that is outside the sun side, we have to provide a 1:4 or 1:5 ratio with the thickness of 20 mm, so that it will having contact with the environment, high temperature or low temperature. So we have to increase the thickness of the cement mortar. Okay. Then next thing, water supply and sanitary arrangements. Here in pictures is possible to see that the tank which is provided on the top of the building. Okay. Here it is shown like a truss building. If it is a RCC flat roof buildings, we have to provide a separate tank on the over roof concrete, or above that one small building constructed. On the top we have to provide a water tank. We have to pump the water from the borehole or from the tanks. We have to provide by pumping of waters, we have to fill up the overhead tanks on the roof slab, on or above the roof slab. Okay. By gravitational force, continuous water flow will be there for restrooms, then kitchens, okay, wash basins, and then bathing part. The water supply will be flowed in the gravitational way. Okay. In pumping way, we have to fill up in the water in overhead tank. Okay. From the overhead tank, from the roof of the tank, the water will be supplied by gravitational force. Okay. So both the pumping and the gravitational force are utilized for supplying water to the overall buildings. Then flooring, finishings and wall tiles. Flooring, finishing and wall tiles. This is done for water stopping element utilized in the restrooms. Okay. In the restrooms, bottom tiles are laid in a rough finishing manner. Okay. It's like a matte finishing, so the skidding will not be happen. The wall sides also we have to provide a wall tiles. The wall tiles which is provided for protecting the water contact to the cement mortar or brick masonry layer. So the tiles which will be cleaned by cloth itself or dried in the wet surface. Okay, so the tiles which is used in the type of bathroom areas, waterproof manner. Okay, then floor tiles which is used in the both residential side and outside the building also. Okay, near parking areas also we are utilizing tiles laying on the surface of the cement concrete. Okay, so it will resist the surface strength, and then it will resist the water movements towards the flooring. Okay, so it will stop the water movement from top surface to earth. Okay, so while we have to provide a floor finishing which will support in a both manner, the water which will be protected from penetrating the surface. Next one thing, in the bathrooms, skidding nature will be stopped by providing rough finish or matte finish floor tiles. Okay, wall tiles which is used in the restrooms for protecting the surface cement mortars from the moisture movement. Okay. Then whitewashing and painting. Whitewashing and painting is major one thing. While constructing the building, we know that the cement mortar which will be in contact with salty environment like seashore areas, and then rainwaters which will contact the mortar layer, means it will damage on further days. So this damage will be protected by provided the painting on the surface of the walls. Okay, nowadays aesthetical view also they are considering in a different colors they are using for protecting the for aesthetical view purpose, they are providing different colors on the painting. Actually, the painting is provided for protecting the walls from environmental water, moisture, water, rainwater, and thermal temperature contact. These are the contacts also blocked by providing the painting. Whitewashing also, the first layer whitewashing, and then we have to provide a painting works on the top of whitewashing. Okay, if there is wood materials we are utilizing for doors and windows, we have to provide a enamel painting. Okay, so which will protect the wood materials from the contact of moisture and water on the wood surfaces. Okay. Okay, these are the sequences of activities we are doing while constructing the buildings. Okay, I am go through another one time the specification sequence of construction activities. Okay, the introduction, we are going to provide a foundation, column, walls and beams. Okay, specification, which is the standards we have to maintain both the material manufacturing process also. Okay, site clearance, the sequence of activities we have to maintain. The site will be in a proper level and the site clearance have to done. Then marking, the both two types of marking is there, center line marking and trench type marking. Okay, the column portions also we have to do in the marking. Okay, foundation based on the soil type we have to go for earthworking. There is two types of buildings, one is load bearing structure and one is framed structure. Load bearing structures, which is having a load carrying capacity of walls also. The framed structure, which is load will be carried out by slabs, beams, columns and foundation. These are the elements only taking care of loads. Okay, then superstructure, masonry walls, brick masonry and stone masonry. Brick masonry, there is a major 4 types of brick masonry. Okay, so in that English bond will be preferred by the masons, and then they, because of which will be worked very fast and it will carry more load when compared to other bonds. Then stone masonry, rumble masonry and ashlar masonry. Rumble masonry, which is used for compound walls, ashlar masonry for internal walls. Okay, which stone masonry is nowadays is possible to see in the temples. Okay, roof concreting, there is 2 different grade of concreting. Now concrete, nominal mixed concrete and design mixed concrete. Now up to 25 grade, M25 grade nominal mixed concrete, above M25 grade design mixed concrete. For roof concrete we have to use reinforcement and concrete both. Okay, reinforcement will take care of tension load and the concrete will take care of compression load. The provisions of openings, doors, windows and ventilations have to provide for air ventilations to the buildings, and get inside and outside the movement is possible to do by door openings only. Okay, then electrical fittings before before roof concreting we have to provide conduits on the roof slabs. Okay, so that reinforcement after electrical works, then only is possible to provide a roof concreting. Okay, after this conduit, the wall conduits also we have to cut and place the electrical fittings and switch boxes while cutting and placing the switch boxes. After that only we will go for plastering works. Okay, plastic cement mortar and lime mortars are used. Cement mortars in the different thicknesses also, we are using. If it is inside the rooms means we have to use a 12 mm thickness. Okay, if it is in outside the walls means 20 mm thickness is going to use. Okay, water supply and sanitary, both pumping and gravitational force we are using. Pumping system we have to use to upload the water from downstream to top tank. From the tank supplying will done by gravitational force to the sanitary works and then kitchen works, then wash basin works. It's possible to utilize the waters from the tank. Floor finishings and wall tiles is protecting the walls and the floors from the moisture movement. Okay, whitewashing and painting, which will protect the walls and wood materials and both the outside and inside walls also. Okay.